For your health, conversations about maternal mortality rates are sparking up once again after the death of Olympian Torri Bowie, who was found dead in her home due to complications from childbirth. So just how bad are maternal mortality rates here in Alabama? Well, News 4's Jacqueline Lambert is joining us to provide some insight on the matter. Jacqueline, what can you tell us about this?
Well, Kinsley, I spoke with the Alabama Department of Public Health about maternal mortality rates. They say what they are seeing is quite alarming. The state of Alabama is among the top 3 in the nation for maternity mortality rates, according to a study by the Alabama Maternity Mortality Review. This is a big concern for the Alabama Department of Public Health.
Overall, if you look at Alabama, we are concerned about our maternal mortality rate being higher than the national average. And of course, this is an ongoing concern that we have had for a number of years in Alabama about overall health outcomes, health equity as it relates to minority populations and so forth.
This health crisis disproportionately affects women of color based on a number of factors.
We know our maternal mortality rate is higher among minority populations, and there are a number of reasons for maternal mortality in general. We have to look at pre-existing health factors that disproportionately affect minority populations, such as even in young populations, for example, diabetes and high blood pressure and obesity.
Of the confirmed deaths relating to childbirth, more than 75% of them could have been prevented.
Having good preventive health care prior to becoming pregnant, again, addressing issues that might be there, such as borderline or high blood pressure, such as obesity, such as diabetes, again, addressing women that have underlying health problems.
I'm Jacqueline Lambert for your Hometown News Leader.